Okay, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to Going the Distance, the Rocky Series podcast. I am your host, Ryan, and with me today, again, is Katie and Kyle. How are you two doing?
Hey, guys. Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. Real good. Kyle?
I'm doing great. I'm on Christmas break still, and I'm really enjoying my time here, so can't complain. I'm having a wonderful staycation.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You have the week off?
Yeah, I took holidays for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so it's been great. I've been just like organizing the house and taking care of stuff I have been not able to do all the time, and spending time with the kids. It's been honestly the best vacation I've had in a long time.
Oh,
Very nice.
that's
Very
nice.
nice. Kyle, I was mentioning to Ryan before you joined that my friend Kim and friend of the show had a death in the family. So I went over yesterday. So we continued our Rocky marathon. So we were on Rocky 5 last night. And the part where the three fat guys in the bar, when Tommy comes and is trying to get him to come out and egging him on, the three guys in the bar say something like, "Oh, you need some help, Rock," or something like that. And she missed what he said. And I'm like, you have to rewind it because it's so funny. The part where he's like, "This ain't no pie eating contest, guys." So she texts me this morning that she woke up laughing at that comment. It is
That's
pretty
funny.
good. Yeah.
It's a
So
great
anyway,
line. Rocky 5, Rocky 5, it's I love seeing the comments and debates still to this day on Twitter and what have you. People loving it, number one, but it's funny how many people dismiss it without even giving a review. I think it's aged. Now, it might not be a better film necessarily than 3 and 4 in the sense of a better film or overall fun experience, but it hasn't aged poorly other than the R&B soundtrack, which is just very 1990.
however, speaking of that, Ryan,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt,
go ahead.
but I was saying that I'm like, oh, the music, and she was like, I love it. She loved it. She was yeah. So she loved the music in it.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, it's just very 1990. She's like, so
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it is very 1990. What's that song on there?
go for it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I have it in
Go
my
for
head.
it. There's two of them, and then da-na-na. I think that's a different one. I don't even know what the words are, but something it up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
No
Keep it
mail.
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Keep it.
Keep it up.
So yeah, we don't have any emails, which is, that's fine. Maybe people are sick of them, so they don't want to send us any emails. But if you want to send us an email, we'd love to hear Katie read them because that's all she does on this podcast. Kyle's always so worried when I make jokes.
I'm fine. I was not worried there.
You made a
Was
little
not
bit of a
worried
worried
there.
face. Okay,
That was not a worried face.
Okay.
It was not a worried face.
Okay.
It was some sort of face, but I promise you it wasn't worried.
Okay, because I want to say that I never tease anyone I don't like. That's always a rule I have. So if I tease you, it means you're my friend, and I can tease you.
Yeah, you haven't teased me in a while, Ryan. Just saying.
Oh,
I know. He just teased me. That means he likes me. So
oh my God, you guys! This is like little kids on the playground. Oh, you pulled her hair. Oh, that means he must like you.
it's funny. So if you want to send us an email, gtdwithrr@gmail.com. We haven't heard some from our regulars like Greg the First, Hector, our favorite wrestler. I mean, maybe they don't listen to our show anymore, and that's fine. Greg the Second, or sorry, the other Greg, he hasn't in a while as well. But again, I'm not shaming these people because if they're not listening, it doesn't matter. But if you want to give us a shout out or a question that you have for us, or just let us know. Also, you can join us live on Discord. Eventually, I'm going to figure out how to stream live to YouTube and Twitter at the same time. Again, it's just a way to get people to interact while we record live before I edit everything and make us sound more professional than we really are. Because when I edit out all the ums and ahs and jokes that don't work. But if you want to see that stuff and also interact with us live when we record, join our Discord or our Facebook page and Twitter to get those announcements when we go live. Other than that, that's our business. Did you guys have anything additional to add before we just roll right into Creed 2? Really, this is a big moment in the movie, quite frankly.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Get into it.
We got Rocky making bread. That's the big moment. Sorry. There he is. I love that scene, though, for our listeners, of course. He's kneading bread. Have you actually ever knead bread before?
Yes.
Why do you say it like that?
Well, okay. There was a couple times where I'm like, I'd love some fresh bread. That means I'm just going to make some bread. And then I didn't realize how much work it was.
It's a lot.
I'm like, holy, this sucks. This isn't worth it. I do have a bread machine, which I feel like is cheating. That's the way to go, though, in terms of how much fresh bread goodness you get for labor you perform. That is those bang for your buck for sure. But yeah, making all those loaves of bread, that's not a fun task.
Yeah, so consecutively as Rocky is making fresh loaf bread for Adrian's restaurant, for the side, I guess they bring bread out to satisfy their hunger. They bring the bread out before they serve the food. We're led to believe he's not watching the fight or, he's not invested in the fight because the next scene right away is Adonis versus Creed. Adonis Creed versus Viktor Drago live tonight. It's a big screen, so we know that first fight is happening right now. So this is an interesting little scene. Adonis is getting his hands taped. Did you guys notice his body language?
No, not really, to be honest.
I don't know if I'm reading too much into it because we know the outcome of this fight. We kind of know his head's not in this fight. We already kind of know that. But look at his legs. He's shaking his legs. He's bouncing his legs up and down. And to me, that's a nervous...
Like a nervous, yeah.
I'm a bit of a fidgeter, so I do that all the time. So I probably just discounted it because of that. But I think you're right. He probably is. What I'm looking for here, and I can't see it, when you get your hands taped, you're supposed to have a guy from the opposite corner there to view it, to ensure that you're not cheating, that you're not putting something in their gloves or...
There's a guy right there with a camera or something. You see him holding a device right there?
That could be. I thought he was like part of the media, but it doesn't look like... A lot of Victor's guys look like they're criminals or something. Maybe just that Russian thug look. You don't see anyone there with like an Adidas shirt or something with like the stripes going down the arm, like typical Slavic type of thing.
I wanted to touch on what Kyle said about the fidgeting. I'm also a fidgeter. And speaking of, did you guys notice how fidgety Stallone is or was in the documentary about the making of or the Rocky versus Drago? Did you guys notice that he has to be always like doing something? He can't just the sucker and the hand thing, and he's always messing with things, moving papers around or something.
Yeah, definitely. He's squeezing, doing something. Yeah, he's definitely, that's probably ADHD. I noticed when he does his own filming and stuff, he's always fidgeting and moving. He's never sitting still. Yeah, I think he's probably has ADHD, and that's not a criticism. It's just an observation. He's always got to move and fidget, and probably that's partly his artistic side. He's always creating, always thinking, always doing something. Yeah.
Jim Lampley here, along with Roy Jones. We're moments away from tonight's main event.
Jim, I would have never thought in a million years I'd witness another Creed versus Drago fight.
Well, get ready, Roy. Drago makes his way to the ring. His father leads the way through the hostile crowd.
So here's another hostile crowd again. I love how every crowd is always hostile.
Yeah, they got to check that mole on his back for cancer, though. That's what I'm thinking. You got to make sure that doesn't keep growing.
I don't see anything. It's very dark.
I can see a mole on his back. Or two of them, actually.
Yes, Kyle, there's two moles on Viktor Drago's back.
You gotta check those moles out. It could be melanoma or something from that Ukrainian. This
is why people tune into this podcast. This is how detailed we are. Yeah, so Viktor Drago has two moles on his back.
That's not what I was like noticing in this shot, but yeah, okay.
And I can picture Rocky's voice. So you don't take very good care of those.
Did you get those moles checked out while you're here? You know, our doctors are pretty good over here. They could probably get you sorted out.
You can feel the energy. I'm sure Creed does. He has a big advantage with the fans in his corner.
All right, so they're saying here the crowd is hostile. I mean, would the crowd really be booing this badly to Viktor? I mean, I don't watch a lot of live fighting events. Do they boo a lot at MMA fight events if they're not a fan favorite, maybe? Or
yeah, I get booed like that.
Okay.
They're not like throwing stuff at him or anything.
You probably get kicked out. I mean, I'm just making like a guess that they really hyped up this Creed versus Drago thing.
Sure.
It's Drago's kid and he killed Creed's dad, so that's why they're probably booing.
Oh, no, absolutely. And the commentator, of course, this is written for the film, but it's also being said to us as the movie audience. I never thought in a million years we'd see another Creed versus Drago fight. So it's true. We never thought that as Rocky fans we would see a rematch of sorts of those two names.
I can't remember the commentary on either fight, who did it. So I'm just reacting to this commentator almost for the first time again. I don't like him.
Oh.
There's something about this commentator they're not doing a bad job. There's just something about him. I'm just like, it's a bit cheesy or something. I don't know. Maybe I liked in Rocky Balboa when they had the actual HBO guys on, like real commentators. That was the best. Or like Bill Baldwin, Stu Nahan were excellent in all the Rocky films too. Yeah. This guy, he's not a bad commentator per se, but it's not the same quality. It'd be funny if this guy was a real one that I didn't know about, but...
And he listens to our...
As far as I know, he's not. Yeah.
He hates us now.
Yeah.
So here comes Creed. He's ready. He's got his hype man behind him clapping.
Stay focused, you're at home, baby. Focus is the key.
Given Drago's size and style, he'll look to use his power to counter Creed's speed.
So they're saying that Creed has speed and Viktor Drago has power and size. Is that inaccurate?
Yeah, of course. It's obvious. Although Creed's man, Tony's son, whatever his name is, what's his name? Is Creed's new trainer. He's Tony Duke's son.
Oh, I forget.
Tony Jr.?
It might be Tony Jr. It might be.
So, okay, I'll say Tony Jr. for now. He also credited Viktor with having speed, too.
There you go.
Although I think it's fair to say that Adonis is faster. He better be, or else he's totally screwed. But my advice for Creed going into this fight, you want to draw this out as many rounds as possible.
You want to win on points.
Because,
this is definitely winning on points. Don't try to knock this guy out.
Even lose the first 4 or 5 rounds on points if you have to, as long as you don't take a lot of damage. You want Viktor to get tired, because big guys like that, really big guys, their vulnerability is they lose stamina in the later rounds, because it takes a lot of energy for those muscles to work and to carry all that weight.
Are we still talking about boxing?
Adonis should not go in hard on this fight. He should use his speed to stay away. He shouldn't go deep in there. He should just stay on the outside. He should go in circles. That's always a good way to do it. Yeah. Circle around, just kind of tease a bit. The 6th round onwards, he should just jackhammer those punches in and go for it.
Nobody likes the jackhammer. Nobody likes that.
Adonis shouldn't go toe to toe.
You know.
All right, we have derailed. My apologies. It's always my fault when he derailed.
I'm the champ.
All right, before we get into his horrible intro music, he sounds like he's convincing himself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I belong here. I'm the champ. I'm holding the belt. I'm the one that belongs here. But I know it's a movie, and we're already knowing that this is not going to go well because it's only halfway through the movie. But he is not convinced he's going to win at all.
Yeah, usually you have your handler say that to you. You're the champ. You got this and stuff, and you're just kind of focused or stoic or whatever. Saying it to yourself is kind of weird. Could you imagine Apollo saying, "I'm the champ"?
It's like affirmations nowadays, because Donnie's a millennial, right? So he's like, "You are worthwhile human being. You are the champ."
Didn't come here to lose.
I think there's a malfunction in the audio. This is not music.
They're bringing the chipmunks back.
Yeah, the Dragos are not impressed. So I'm just going to mute it a little bit. He's coming out to his entrance. It's a cool little light show, though. With the V-shaped lights and the shadows on the Creed and his entourage and the blue in the ring of the Dragos looking on. And I like how they're just not impressed. They're like, yeah, cool. Cool intro, brah.
What is fun? Creed is ever the showman, and he's energizing the crowd.
So it says, like his father, Creed is forever the showman. He's energizing the crowd. I didn't.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, he's literally like holding his hand up. He's not doing anything other than what every fighter does. It's just come out music. That's it.
Yeah, I agree.
Creed was an amazing showman. Apollo, of course, the Rocky IV intro, the first Rocky fight, with the I want you. Of course, the super fight too. Yeah, he was all business. That's fair, but yeah.
Creed is letting Drago know exactly who this arena belongs to.
It all feels so Shakespearean. Two sons raised the world apart, yet inexorably linked by tragedy.
So two sons raised worlds apart, but connected via tragedy.
I just looked up the arena here too. This is Barclays Arena.
Okay.
I wasn't sure that was at first. This is in New York. So it's not
okay.
it's not in Vegas, which I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't do like the Vegas, which is where Apollo fought Drago before.
And he said this was his hometown. So maybe they didn't say town. Maybe they're just referring to the country.
Yeah, you're in America. You're at home.
I think that's what they're saying, because they mentioned this is a home turf. These are your people. That kind of talk was used as the entrance, and his entourage was saying that. But now that you're saying, Kyle, he's in New York City. Was he ever from New York? Did we get that from the other Creed Part 1?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's from LA and he moved out to Philly. So Barclays Arena is in Brooklyn. Could be wrong here, but
Now, gentlemen, I went over the rules in the dressing room. I caution you to keep this fight clean at all times. Protect yourself at all times. And what I say, you must obey.
So when the audio goes quiet there for our listeners, that's where Rocky is now watching on his TV in Adrian. So are we to assume that Rocky has pay-per-view in Adrian's?
Yeah,
I think
probably.
he's sprung for the pay-per-view. Saved up enough this month that he could pay the couple $100 or whatever it is.
This shot it's a cool shot, but it makes it seem like they're not that physically different. Don't you guys think? This shot makes it look like Donnie's almost as big.
Yeah.
Okay, so this shot makes it seem like Victor, it takes away the height difference. Like you could still see that Victor's taller, but it's not to the same degree. But if you look at Victor's arm versus Adonis's arm, Victor's arm is quite a bit larger, especially
Really?
like his
I think
tricep
they
and
look
shoulder
the
muscle.
same. I don't know. They look pretty similar.
Creed's physique looks better in this one, for sure, especially his midsection. Drago's looks a little bit pudgier here. It's an insult to say that. He's not pudgy at all, but in this particular shot, his frame looks a bit thicker. Adonis looks fitter, though, in this picture. I'd say, the size difference doesn't look as big here.
But we know that Florian Montaneo is quite the specimen, and it's probably just the most flattering angle right here. I agree.
Good luck. Touch gloves.
You will lose.
Touch gloves.
Now, for our listeners, again, that was me and Kyle doing those. They did not speak to each other in the ring, but Victor put up his gloves to touch gloves, and Adonis didn't do it, and he kind of half-heartedly did it, tapped them at the end there when he wasn't being a good sportsman. So, Adonis, come on.
Well, this is kind of what we were talking about before. It's hard to kind of really hate Victor too much.
I don't
Like,
hate him
this
at all.
guy is trying to make...
No, not at all. Like he didn't do anything.
You could maybe think his dad's a bit of a tool, but like Victor, the guy's just trying to make his way.
Yeah, what has Victor done wrong?
Nothing other than he's complicit in this publicity stunt. Even then, I don't blame him for any of that. That's on his promoter. But Victor's trying to make his way. He's working hard. He's trying to be the champ. He was sportsmanlike to touch gloves here. He only pushed Donnie earlier when Donnie pushed his dad first, which is what any son should do. So Victor's good in my books.
Yeah, Victor's in this normal fighter animosity, but nothing that would make him villainous.
No. Like, honestly, you almost dislike Creed a little bit more.
Has it been the theme of our last two seasons?
Yeah.
I'm glad
Like
it
this
was Kyle
guy's-
saying it and not me.
Boy, that's been the theme, and I don't want to keep harping on it because listen to our previous episodes, but Adonis is just not a likable character. The way Rocky is, the way anyone else in this series is, he's the least... I'm not saying he's completely hateable. I'm just saying he's the least likable. He's the hardest one, excuse the pun, to get into his corner for whatever reason.
I like Apollo in Rocky 2, who is openly antagonistic.
Sure.
More than I like Adonis here, even. Because at least Apollo in Rocky 2, you can see why he's like that. He was embarrassed by that fight, and, his ego was shattered. You can see why he's doing that. But like Adonis, it's like, why are you acting like this? This Viktor guy didn't kill your dad. Like, I could see why you'd hate Ivan Drago. And I guess maybe you'd be like, well, it's his son, and he reminds me of this or that. But still, like, come on.
Interesting to see how Duke manages the corner with so much bad blood between the fighters. Look at.
Okay, so they've made a point here. Yeah, Rocky is not in the corner, so it's Tony Duke Jr. that's training. It's in the corner for Adonis. So how's that going to work? There's so much animosity between these two fighters. I think Adonis has it, but I'm not sure how much Viktor has towards Adonis.
This is a reboot of the first Clubber Lang fight. Because Mickey is not in Rocky's corner for the first Clubber Lang fight. Now, obviously for a different reason than Rocky, but it's still like he's not there. Like it feels off. You're like, you have this guy in the corner, like Duke. No one cares about him. We have no connection to him. Like it feels weird him being in the corner, not Rocky. It felt weird in Rocky 3 with just Paulie and Al Savani in the corner there. And then you're against a guy you shouldn't go toe to toe with, just like Clubber Lang. Like, it's like the parallels are very striking here, I think.
You think you're gonna run straight through you? You show him what's up, okay? This is your house, all right?
All right.
That's bad advice.
Yeah,
show him what's up. What the hell does that even mean?
Remember the streets, Rocco.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, buddy, stay away from this guy. Do not trade punches with this guy. Have this guy moving around the ring. Have this guy wasting energy round after round. Even if it's going to be a boring fight, do not trade with this guy or you're going to get knocked unconscious.
And we're underway. If all goes according to form, Creed is seen as the more versatile boxer, quicker. Drago is trying to land something big.
Dig. Down the stairs.
Creed connects with a couple of body shots.
So, of course, we see, Rocky watching, and he's giving his phantom advice, and Creed seems to pick up on it by doing a couple body shots.
I might be proven wrong in a few seconds, but because I don't remember how the rest of this round goes, but this is also reminiscent of like the first Drago Creed fight in that Viktor is he's not doing anything. He's just standing there, like waiting for the attack him moment.
Yeah, agreed.
Seemingly.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. And also in the Clubber fight, Clubber just took punches for like half the first round. Didn't affect him.
I want to speak to that really quickly with the recut, with Rocky IV recut. Sly, what he wanted, according to the documentary about the recut, Sly said he wanted to show that Apollo gave more of a fight. I want to reiterate again, if nobody heard my comments on that on a previous episode, that ironically Sly made the fight more brutal in the recut because it showed Apollo, yes, landing punches and fighting, but the whole time Ivan Drago is just he's just like sitting there, like he's getting hit by Apollo. Has zero effect on Drago, and he's kind of sitting there and he's doing that weird little dance where he's kind of holding that arm back, and then he finally goes in after the trainer goes, attack him! Then that's when Drago just lays it on. So it actually just draws out the inevitable. It actually doesn't show Apollo being a better fighter or having more of a chance. It just shows that no matter what Apollo was doing, he was dead, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And here, Adonis he's doing no damage. He's not baiting Drago into making any swings or opening himself up. He's just wasting time.
Yeah, Viktor's doing the old Drago strategy. Yeah, give me some hits, so I'm told to attack. We'll see if that. I can't remember now too, if Ivan says attack or something like that. We'll find out.
Plus, I also think waiting here too. He's kind of feeling Creed out. He's seeing like, okay, he throws punches like this. It could be something like, okay, if he throws a body shot, he lets his other hand down, or he's vulnerable in this position or that position. Like he has time to study him because he's not getting hurt.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kyle.
No, go ahead, please.
This is just kind of reiterating, I guess, what he said. But that would have been more, I'm not a boxer, but it seems like since they don't know much since Donnie doesn't know really anything about Viktor's fighting style or at all, that they'd do more circling, or that Donnie would want to kind of feel Viktor out more.
Yeah, agreed.
And a right hand upstairs for Creed. Drago hasn't thrown a meaningful punch yet. Another right hand for Creed.
It was interesting before we get to that last punch by Drago. Creed was throwing a couple punches, and it even looked like Yvonne, Drago Sr., looked a little bit nervous just for a couple seconds there. He's like, oh, it looked like he was a little bit, oh, okay, why isn't my son doing anything?
Oh, I thought he looked bored.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Maybe it was boredom. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good call. Interesting. But then Viktor does come in with the one punch, and Creed actually blocked it with his gloves. So the punch was actually blocked a bit. It hit his gloves, but it hit his face from the gloves, like from the block, and he went back 4 or 5 feet.
Sorry, guys. 1 sec. My daughter's coming in.
How
I just
dare
gotta
she.
talk to her real quick.
How dare she? Well, we'll keep playing.
Creed blocked that punch, and still it knocked him back into the ropes.
Oh, they took the words out of my mouth. You hear that?
Yeah. And the look on his face was a little bit of concern on Creed's face.
Oh, wouldn't you be
He was like, oh,
concerned?
yeah. I'd be like, oh, what have I gotten myself into?
He's like, I blocked that punch, and it knocked me to almost knocked me to my feet. So we're just saying there, Kyle, that the commentators literally just took our words out of our mouth where it says Creed blocked that, but it still knocked him back into the ropes. So we're starting to realize the power that Viktor has here.
We good. Creed doesn't like that, Jim.
Don't be stupid, kid. He's baiting you.
Creed pressing now, angrily rushes forward with a volley of punches.
Rocky feels that Viktor is baiting him, that he's pulling him in.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like, yeah. If you're the taller person with the longer arms.
Well, Creed's throwing these big shots. He's opening himself up, right? It's like to be counterpunched. Viktor is letting him do this. He's allowing himself to get punched, knowing that he can strike when he needs to, and he only needs one punch to land a real damaging blow. Creed should be letting Viktor chase him, not the other way around. I think that's kind of what Rocky's saying. He's pulling you in, and you're going to be fighting his fight soon.
Good point.
And if Rocky was in the corner, that's what he'd be saying. But Rocky chose the big bread at Adrian's.
Come on, kid.
By that punch.
Viktor does a block. How often do they do those kind of blocks, Kyle? You watch a lot of boxing. You know the block I'm talking about where they literally bring up the hand and block it almost like a karate block? Do they do that a lot in boxing, or I just seem to see it a few times in Rocky?
Yeah, it happens. I don't know if it's a lot, but it's like not super unusual, I don't think.
It's almost like a karate block.
That is a karate block. There's a saying in karate, every block is a strike and every strike is a block. So in karate, this is like an elbow strike, but it could also be a block to block your...
Ah, I got you. The best offense is a good defense.
Something like that.
Also, that's the whole point of having your hands up, keeping your hands up, right? So that you can do that.
Yeah, that's what Rocky always did, so...
Yeah.
Your head.
Creed commands the center of the ring, but there's a hard body shot to the ribs, and another one on the other side. That knocks Creed's head back.
So we got 2 rib shots that hurt him. We got a head shot that knocked him back. And the commentator says the best. Creed can feel the power behind those punches.
Just going to comment on Bianca's outfit. I don't like it.
Katie coming in with the All right.
You go ahead with like actual commentary.
That's why we have our female co-hosts. Apparently, we're not the first ones. What do you like about her outfit?
I don't know. What is that? It's like 1980s business suit.
To me, it almost reminds me of like she's trying to look like Parisian or something with the hat.
Gray, yeah.
Yeah, like she's, I don't know.
I mean, she has like a great figure, so she should show it off more, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Can feel the power behind those punches. And now Drago is on the attack. Jab out, hands up.
Drago stalking him along the ropes.
Out the corner. No, B, out the corner.
That's cool. I don't recall that camera effect where it looks like the audience is the one being punched.
Right.
Viktor, us as viewers.
Yeah, right. No, that's a great point. Yeah, we've seen a couple of those a little bit with some of the other Rocky films, a little bit just like Rocky or Apollo punching, but that was a really different angle. It was more pulled back. It seems like we're further away than just in their face. We're getting punched by Viktor. Like, that would be a good 3D moment if it was Creed in 3D. Yeah, the fighting, I mean, obviously this is just a brawl at this point. It's going to be a close to death for Adonis, but the aesthetics and the fighting. I will say this again. I think Creed 2 is a better film than Creed 1. I know Creed 1's a quote unquote maybe a better film, but the enjoyment factor and the look and the aesthetics of Creed 2, I just like better. And I like how the fighting looks in the ring. It looks better in Creed 2 than it does in Part 1.
I agree.
I don't think so.
I'm probably in the minority. Kyle, you're probably in the majority of that, I would assume. But
This looks like one of those cartoon computer fights.
Looney Tunes
and
fight.
the other ones didn't look like that. I'm old school. I like things old. I don't like change. But yeah, speaking to the fight, though, this fight's lost. Creed's a brawler. He has no business brawling with this guy, and it's just a matter of time. And he's not willing to change up his style at this point. So, of course, that's no surprise to the viewer because it's not like we expect him to win because it's the first fight and it's early in the film. But
yeah, imagine if he wins this fight and then he wins the rematch. That's the Creed 2.
yeah,
He wins both fights.
well, actually,
There could be another lost son, an illegitimate Drago son, maybe, that comes out of the woodwork. That could have happened.
Ludmilla and Tommy the Machine Gun, they had a baby together. They're going to fight.
or Creed dies here, and then to everyone's shock and dismay, Robert decides to start a fighting career all of a sudden.
Oh, man.
Honestly, I would not mind. I was thinking of this earlier when we were talking about the likability factor of Creed, or like just how invested we are. I'm pretty invested in Tony Jr., so I wouldn't mind seeing him fight. Although, despite him looking very young, he's probably like 40.
Yeah, he's too old to step into the ring.
To me, he looks 45 in this film.
Does he? Okay.
I think black people age better, and so
Of course,
it's like,
that's why I'm like, despite him not looking like it.
He's 65.
yeah.
Hard right hand by Drago, and Creed is shaken as the first round comes to a close. I think most watching at home are a little surprised by how impressive Viktor Drago has looked in these opening minutes of the fight.
With the history these men share, Duke may have his hands full keeping Creed from letting his emotions get the best of him.
What you doing, D? You need to stick with the game plan. I know. Stay off the line. Take your angles. You ain't taking your angles.
Stay the line, take the angles. You know what that means there, Kyle?
No, not really. I think it's just stay away from him.
Yeah, do your best to not get punched from him.
Well, okay, stay off the line. Like you're not supposed to be right in front of him. Is the first thing. So probably say the angle is you should be moving to the side. Should not be right in front of this guy standing toe to toe to him. You're the more agile person. His advantages are speed and agility, neither of which he's using. He's trying to use power against a guy who's really powerful. He's tough. Like, he could take a punch, obviously. He didn't die that first round, but...
He's super winded, though.
I bet he is. Like, taking that beating would... I think it'd win almost anybody. Well, Viktor, too, also in this fight, the earlier punches he was doing were body shots. And so Creed is probably having a hard time catching his breath. He probably was having a hard time throwing whatever punches he was trying to throw later in the round because of those body shots.
The ribs are injured right now for sure. They're going to get, spoiler, they're going to get broken soon, but they're already injured. So they're fractured at the very least. He's feeling it, yeah.
Maybe they didn't show, like when they first showed Viktor in his corner, the only person, there wasn't anybody talking to him. It was literally just the guy with the water bottle, handed him, that's it. Yvonne didn't come up and say anything.
I suspect actually the next scene we're going to see Yvonne. If I remember right, Yvonne basically shits on him right now for not knocking him out the first round. If I remember correctly, I think this is how it goes.
Maybe. I just don't recall. Okay, yeah, you're probably right, Kyle.
All right, so Duke's saying if he throws you a left hook, and then he starts arguing.
Come on, man. Hold the phone on that. You think I don't know that shit? Well, if you know it, do it.
So, yeah, Viktor, you're right. So Yvonne came to talk to Viktor, and he says, he's afraid. That's what he just said there. I'll translate. And then Viktor says, I know.
I'm sure.
And like Kyle said, then Yvonne says, well, if you know this, why is he still standing? Wow. Ivan Drago, the father, is still kind of the bad guy. He is really wanting his son to kick the crap out of a Creed, which is really the Rocky legacy. Because he's already killed the dad. He's already killed the Creed, but he wants to destroy Adonis for the Rocky legacy.
he wants him to exceed what he could do because he didn't knock out Apollo Creed in the first round. This fight was very similar outcome, very similar to his fight with Apollo. That parent was never good enough, right? Like you could never keep them happy. Yvonne seems to be one of those people. And yeah, he's the real villain so far, the film, him and that promoter guy, but more so him. The promoter guy is just kind of being a promoter guy. Sorry, just keep going.
Okay.
Poor Victor.
Why can't his dad just love him? He just wants love.
I think I see it, but explain what you see there.
Well, the whole movie, we've just seen like this poor kid knows nothing but that being berated, and even when he's winning, he's not good enough. It's just sad. I just feel sorry for him.
He's like a dog that's abused or something.
Well, maybe not just abused, but like a workhorse with with no reward.
Yeah,
a labor animal. But you see the similarities. Tell me what I'm thinking. What we're seeing here, the irony of this situation.
Oh, the Yosef-ya.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Drago Jr. is, ironically, he is living through his father's eyes. He's living the life that his father had when he was just a soldier, doing what the government told him to do. He wasn't his own fighter. And though he had the ability to be a very good fighter on his own, to fight for himself, he wasn't able to. He was controlled by his government. Now, Drago Jr., ironically, is being controlled by his father and not living his own life as a boxer. And Drago Sr. says, here, break him. And Victor Drago Jr. looks up at his father and says, like, that's not necessarily what he wants to do. Like, he's still fighting a normal fight here, but now he's told by his father, sweep the leg, essentially, be dirty.
Yeah, it's like I solidly won that round. Mm-hmm. Like, I have this fight won already. It's just a matter of time, Dad. This actually does speak true to life, I think. They talk about the cycle of abuse. So, for example, if a grandparent's abusive, the parent tends to be abusive and the kid will tend to be abusive. And you can break the cycle of abuse. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to be that way, but you tend to perpetuate the abuse that you experienced. And so Drago doing this, acting like his handlers treated him, that's very believable. That is most likely what would happen if this was real. That's good writing in that sense.
Yep. Well, Sly wrote Creed 2, and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
And now as we prepare for round 2, this crowd is still buzzing from the vicious rally that Drago brought forth in the last minute of round number 1. Got Creed in serious trouble as the round came to a close. And now round 2 begins. And Drago comes out throwing, wasting no time.
So he's throwing some wild haymakers and missing. So Adonis is using the speed to dodge that.
Yeah.
I think he's angry. I think Victor, ironically, now he's not fighting like a fighter at this point. I think he's mad at his dad.
He's under pressure to knock Adonis out, right? And he's going to do that by throwing those big haymakers.
Right. Oh, good.
Rather than,
so he's just trying to. Now he's coming out like a tank.
Yeah, which I guess it might work. Kudos to Adonis for being able to duck and weave those punches after taking all that punishment in the first round. It shows his physical conditioning must have been on point. You didn't skimp out on that before the fight.
Got ugly fast. And another hard right hand shot. And Creed is in big trouble now.
Keep moving, Donnie.
Sends Creed reeling.
Creed's getting pummeled.
Yeah.
He is just getting beaten to a pulp. It's hard to watch. Despite the likability issue of Creed, of Adonis as a character, obviously, I take no pleasure in watching him getting destroyed like this.
Yeah, and he sure can take a punch, though. Give him that. Like, he's not going down easy. Like, he's taking a tremendous amount of punishment.
He must have a super hard head.
The world's hardest head.
Hardest head. This is better, obviously. It's 2018 or something, but it's better boxing. Like, it looks more realistic, which that seemed like it really hurts. Like, some of those big hits to the head, I'm dang, how is he still standing? Wouldn't that knock a person out?
This would never happen in real boxing.
Oh, okay.
This amount of power shots being landed in succession from guys this big, No. Real boxing is way more boring than this fight.
Right.
The only fight I've seen, I'm not a huge boxing person, but a fight that like Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, that's a good example of one where they were hitting each other with power shots and then like they were going down. I think each of them were knocked down 2 or 3 times, right? And it was only
really?
a 7-round fight. Yeah. But even then, like you have a lot of throwing and blocking punches in a real boxing match. And if you land a huge power shot like that, normally the person's phased or they're stunned or they're in trouble typically, right? Unless you have a really good chin. But the beating Viktor is giving here would for sure knock someone out. And if for some reason someone were able to withstand that, the ref would come in and just stop it.
Who's ref in this fight? Lou Filippo?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, are you dead? No? Okay, keep going.
Tries to regain his footing. Creed trying to hand it back. Now huge foot. Sends Creed flying through the ropes.
So now Adonis is through the ropes, getting up. Drago Sr. gives Drago Jr. the nod of finish him.
Something to try to turn this fight around. Drago just keeps coming. What a big rib shot. Those were 2 tremendous right hands to the rib.
Drago Sr. yells out, take him out. Now we got a broken ribs. And Adonis goes to the canvas with broken ribs. And it says here, you could have heard that one in the nosebleed seats from the commentator.
Sorry, I'm just like so engrossed in the fight. I'm just, what's going to happen next?
Well, let's just keep going.
Honestly, I think this beating's going on a little long.
No, it's
Like,
good. It's such good. God, that makes me seem like such a gladiator goer.
You take that, Adonis. No, but
No, it's just very entertaining.
It is very. It's brutal. I think this is where we as an audience are trying. We need to see almost a near-death experience for Adonis to have the ending of the movie that we're going to have. So yeah, he is broken, and I'm surprised the fight keeps going because I would suspect broken ribs doesn't that stop a fight, but we'll see.
Yeah, if you're not fighting back and you're just getting pummeled continuously, they stop it. Yeah. Like it has to be a competitive fight. Yeah, that makes the sport look real bad if you just let a guy get mangled like that.
Well, he asked him if he was okay.
Yeah.
Well, now the ref's about to approach. So that was earlier, but now the ribs are cracked. We heard the crack as an audience. So now the ref's going over to Adonis to see how he assesses Adonis' health here.
That one in the nosebleed seat.
So he's reeling on the canvas in pain. He's in obvious pain. Now let's see what the ref says.
He's clearly in pain as he finds a way to his feet. Not ready to give up yet.
I don't know. This is getting dangerous, Jim.
Now Bayless is going to let him go again.
All right, so
Doesn't say anything.
The ref just said, come to me, held his arms, and like kind of tugged on his arms. Like, oh, I'm able to tug on his arms still, so I guess he's good to go.
You see Adonis cradling his rib like that, much like his dad did in the first fight in the 14th round when he took a left to the ribs, the right ribs. Anyway, normally like what you do is, are you all right? And then the fighter has to put both their gloves up like this and say they're okay. If you can't do that because you're cradling your rib, that's a big red flag that says maybe this fight should not continue. Like being able to raise your hands is kind of prerequisite for any boxing match.
This referee was trained at the Lou Filippo School of Referee.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. We have to.
If they have a heartbeat, they can keep fighting. Yeah.
It has to be allowed for the movie's sake, because, yeah, I lost my train of thought. There was something that Kyle said that made me.
You're right.
But,
we know what's happening for the movie, but it's, the Rocky films, especially the last ones from Rocky Balboa to Creed 2, they're trying to keep it a little bit more realistic in the world of realism, and so we're definitely not getting into here. He's on, even the commentators like, oh, he's obviously in a lot of pain, and he's cradling his wrist. The rest like, hey, man, people could pay good money to watch you die. Let's continue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what I thought of, and why we have to suspend so much disbelief is because of the history behind the dads here. I'm pretty sure there was like a meeting or several meetings with the boxing commission and the refs. Now, listen here, we're going to get sued. So if anybody's in danger, even in the slightest, you have to stop it.
Yeah, imagine if Creed died in this too.
That'd be awesome.
He comes barreling out of the corner. Huge right hook. Drogba trying to end it.
I forgot that he survived that round.
Same. I was never sure he was out that round.
Yeah, something tells me he's not going to make it through a third round.
Well, I'll play some
And that
bets.
he was able to throw that punch either. Like, I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. Same. It was his good side, but still.
Adonis is in a lot of pain. It says here, Bayless, restrained Drago, seemingly frustrated.
Seemingly frustrated as he was close to finishing the fight.
You got to show me something. If not, I'm going to stop it.
So that was the ref saying, you got to show me something. If not, I'm going to stop it. So at least the ref is somewhat aware of what his duties are.
That's what Lou Filippo would say, too. He just didn't mean it. He's like, yeah, Rocky's like, please don't stop nothing.
It's my life.
It's my life. Yeah. Lou Filippo was like, don't worry. I just say that so I don't get fired. But I'm not going to stop it. Trust me.
Be like, the referee commission would be like, so Lou, why did you not stop the fight? Well, he used the argument of it's my life.
And I thought, you know what? It is his life. What am I even doing here?
It's like begging your parents for something and they say no and you say, please. Like, that's good.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That does work, actually. If they bug me enough, I crack sometimes.
You're like, fine.
Bad parent. Fine. Just quit. Leave me alone.
Clean fight?
Good, I'm good.
Hell no. I'm calling this fight.
Nigga, don't call this shit.
Dude, you ain't gotta prove shit to nobody. Look at you, your ribs look like they broke.
Just like his dad, don't call this fight.
I didn't realize the N-word was used in this. Like, I understand between black guys they do that. That's totally cool. I just didn't realize. I didn't catch it.
Can you imagine if Paulo said that to Rocky at some point?
Well, he wouldn't, though, would he?
Or Clever could have said it to Apollo when he turned his back on him.
Yeah, I could see some N-words being thrown between those two, and that'd be legit.
I want the Rocky 3 recut where we throw in N-word.
In 1982, it maybe was I don't know if it was like.
No, but he uses a racist thing though. Kleber uses that boy.
Yeah, the boy is racist.
Yeah.
Especially in that tone, that is for sure racist. So there was a little bit of that.
Racially.
Yeah, derogatory.
Well, I don't even know what I can say anymore. So, all right, let's see how this third round goes. Oh, so now Yvonne's saying he's embarrassing you.
Oh shit!
Like,
What the hell?
What the are you talking about? Do you expect fights to only go 2 rounds? Like we're only in the 3rd round. This guy is like crippled. Calm the down. Like he's gonna win the belt as long as he doesn't do anything stupid. Embarrassing. Like you have some serious psychological problems, Yvonne, that you are putting this much pressure on him after he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, so it's his fault that was going to end up happening.
Yep.
Yvonne's fault.
Yvonne, don't
100%.
Yvonne, don't get mentally irregular on your son here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they look down on us, he's saying to his son. That's why she left us, he says to his son.
What a piece of shit.
Child when she left. Okay, it does pull at your heartstrings, but other than that, I think this writing was weird because it doesn't even make sense. That's why she left us.
Well, he's just projecting. Obviously, he's projecting his own past and history on this. This has got nothing to do with Victor. He's talking to an empty room. I think Victor doesn't even understand what his dad's saying. I think he's just as confused as he is hurt right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is serious psychological abuse. To put your mother leaving you, putting that into your fighting performance, trying to put that blame on you and trying to push it on you, that has serious effects. Like that's not a joke.
This is why she was cut out of the Rocky IV recut.
Yeah.
No, there was still a very long smoking scene with that dude that she probably
Yeah.
left them for.
Yes.
She did take a drag off his cigarette.
2 very long ones.
It wasn't the only thing she dragged on. All right.
Punch him, Victor.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. Now Adonis asks, hand me my mouthpiece. He's going back in there.
It'd be so funny if Victor lifted his dad up with one hand and threw him in like that handler.
Mm-hmm.
Now Rocky's saying, don't do it. He knows. He's seen this song and dance before.
Well, you see Bianca in the back too, and looking at Tony Jr. like, what the f*** are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
why didn't you stop this fight? Yeah,
He's probably
yeah,
like,
exactly.
God damn it, Rocky, why'd you make me take this role on?
Yeah, it's like, you son of a bitch. Like, what are you doing this? I'm sorry, causing you a lot of editing work here, right?
I'm used to it. Don't worry. It's all good. Hey, it's just as easy to edit a swear as it is to edit out or ah. So don't worry about it. It's all good.
Now, as we go to round 3, Adonis Creed has been beaten up and bloodied by an avalanche of power shots from Ivan Drago in the first 2 rounds. And we'll
Oh, did you catch that little scene there?
Yes, I didn't remember that.
That was a mistake. He said by Ivan Drago.
Well, what was that? I missed it. Let me go back.
Yeah,
We'll
the
talk.
announcer, I swear to God, he said by Ivan Drago.
Okay, let's watch it again.
As we go to round 3, Adonis Creed has been beaten up and bloodied by an avalanche of power shots from Ivan Drago in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
said
That was
Ivan.
the subtitle says Victor, but the audio said Ivan 100%.
Wow.
That was a great catch.
You keep me around for more than reading emails.
That's right. You're way better than the redhead in the front row. That's a good
Hey,
catch.
that was a great catch.
Very good
That was-
catch.
That's crazy,
That was
though,
sweet.
right? That they didn't catch that in editing.
I can't believe that was
yeah.
missed in editing. That's crazy.
I'm not super involved in like the Rocky fan universe as much as you, Ryan, but I don't think anyone's brought that up.
We're the first ones. I guarantee it. We're the first ones. In fact, I would challenge if anyone who listens to the show, now is a good time to send us an email at gtdwithrr@gmail.com and tell us that you knew that before, and we'll believe you. But seriously, send us an email or message on Twitter or whatever in our socials. Say, yeah, I heard that before. But yeah, I got a feeling I've never heard anyone talk about that before.
Show a tweet or a audio clip from another earlier podcast showing that being found out.
That's right.
I don't think they have.
That's right. Good point. And I also want to say, when I said, hey, did you catch that? I actually wasn't referring to the audio that Katie brought up. I was the look that Tony Jr. gives Bianca saying, look, I tried. He won't listen to me look.
No, I didn't.
You see that there? That's him shrugging his shoulders like, he's not listening to me, Bianca. He's not listening to what I have to say. I can't stop him. He won't stop fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see how much Adonis Creed has left him as he tries to stay alive in the fight.
Stop the fight.
Dangerous swing from Drago as Creed desperately tries to hold him off.
Drago still putting huge pressure on the body.
Well, stop the fight.
Oh, now you want to stop the fight, Rocky.
Tony Jr. can't stop it. He could throw the towel right now. He could have threw the towel before the round is over. And it's not like he has this close bond with Adonis. It's not like if he has some professionalism, he could just be like, okay, no, this isn't working. You didn't follow the game plan. You're not doing anything we talked about. Like, this training relationship's not really working, and you're going to get yourself seriously, perhaps permanently injured if you go out there again. I am stopping this now.
He's going to hurt you
That's-
permanent.
Poignant. It's poignant.
Adonis can't really talk to him and say, like, hey, we go back a long ways. Don't do this for me. You know, it's not like he's risking their friendship. They don't talk. Like, they were like enemies, not the last fight. He was the other guy's corner man. I don't
That's
get
a
it.
really good point. There was nobody else to do it since Rocky wouldn't. But also, even as with the previous fight, even if the towel was thrown, the opposing fighter wasn't going to stop anyway. I would venture to guess that Victor, at this, like, given how this is going, that Victor would keep punching, even with, like, if you're out of control, the towel being thrown isn't going to help.
I think he could have stopped the fight prior to the round starting.
Agreed.
And another shot by Drago. Creed seemingly on his last legs. devastating shot to the rib cage.
Ooh.
Now, when I saw this scene, for our listeners, there was the big shot by Drago to the ribs, which just reinforces that injury on the ribs. I think the other side this time. Adonis goes down on his knees, and while he's on his knees, Viktor has just seen red. You know, it's understandable. His adrenaline's going. He's just seen red. He goes in for an uppercut shot to his face while he's on his knees and just lays him out. And as we know, even though this wasn't followed in the previous Rocky films, but it's illegal to hit somebody on their knee. Is that not correct, Kyle?
Yes, Clubber does it when you see like the montage there. Maybe it was a lower level fight, so no one cared. And so you really do have in the championship level fights have to actually follow that rule. But yeah, you can't hit someone. You can hit someone on the way down. That happens. But if they're on their knee and they are already down, you cannot hit someone while they're down. You'll get DQ'd.
You can start the count when they're on their knee, can you not?
Yeah, fighters can actually take a knee and give themselves the count if they really want to. Like, it doesn't really happen, but you can do that if you want to. And the ref decides when the count starts. And there are controversies in boxing all the time because sometimes the refs start the count too late or they count at a different pace. For instance, Mike Tyson lost his title in 1990 to Buster Douglas. And he was knocked out, much to everyone's surprise. They actually counted how long it really took that 10-second count, and it was 13 seconds. Like, that's a big discrepancy, right? It's kind of the refs. Like, it depends who you get as a ref.
So everyone's in shock. Adonis is laid out cold. Bianca is in shock. Good effects here of having everything kind of quiet.
She kind of runs away, though, does she? She doesn't go in the ring.
I think
she doesn't go to see if he's cool.
Well, she might be making her way to the aisle.
Oh, okay.
Even Yvonne there. Well, Viktor doesn't look pleased with himself necessarily. Yvonne even looks a little bit, oof, maybe we went too far.
Well, do you think that, or he's like, oh crap, he's gonna get disqualified?
Oh yeah, maybe. Maybe he's disappointed that but he's realizing maybe I shouldn't have pushed my son so much because his son lost focus of how to finish the fight properly.
Yeah, I hope he's like disappointed in himself. I would hope as a human being he would be, but you never know.
I don't know if he's the kind of person that could take fault or responsibility or blame. Does he feel like he legitimately should have lost the Rocky fight, or does he blame it on someone else? Does he blame it on his communist handlers? Does he blame it on the ref? Does like whatever, right? And so maybe he's just blaming everyone, like he's blaming Viktor now when it should have been him.
Yeah, it's just an interesting sequence there where they showed Drago again for listeners. They showed Drago looking. I would say he didn't look thrilled that his son will be a disqualification of a shot, but he didn't look disappointed by the disqualification. He looked more like this got a bit out of hand. This wasn't the ending that he wanted any more than what's happened in the ring. Like he wanted his son to win, but now he's like, ugh, even though he proved to be the better fighter, I don't think he's thrilled by how it ended, even with what's happened here. I don't think he takes real pride that Adonis himself is on the canvas, maybe near death. I like how we're not really sure who to root or how to root for this film, and with the people in the ring, we're actually just feeling the pain of everybody in a sense.
This is an obvious disqualification, or so it would appear, because Creed was fully down at the moment that Drago landed that last shot.
So yeah, Bianca was trying to get to Adonis, but they pushed her away so the doctor could look. It's the first time we've seen an actual doctor in the ring in the Rocky series.
Well, other than the guys, like, how many fingers do you see? Like that English doctor who somehow believed that Adonis can see through an eye that was like completely shut.
Bianca's like about to have like a panic attack. She's like
completely silent as the audience waits to see what will be the condition of young Adonis Creed.
Oh, I did not remember this part.
I didn't either, Kyle. I didn't either.
I can't believe he turned the TV off. Part of me thinks he sees Creed on the ground like that, and it reminds him of Apollo who died. Maybe in his mind, he's like, oh, this is happening all over again. I can't handle this. I got to turn it off. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you turn it off. What are you doing? Don't you want to see what happens? Like, don't you want to see if he's going to be okay? Like, what if they have him conscious in a second here? Like, it almost just seems like Rocky can't handle his emotions here. Like, he's kind of like putting his head in the sand or something like that. Like, it's too much for him to handle.
You're
He's
right.
torturing himself even more too.
I know what you're saying. By watching the coverage, you'll get the updates of how Adonis is doing, and we'll know in the next episode that we'll see how Adonis is doing. He gets the information because he knows where to find him. I think at that moment, he's pretty certain the guy's not dead, but you're right. It's just too traumatic. It's like, it's just, yeah, you're shutting it off. I can't look at this. I can't even bear to see the news right now of his state. And he's closing his eyes. The plane's about to crash, so you're just going to close your eyes. You're not watching the ground come to you. So he's just closing his eyes, and he'll get back to it later.
I think, as the young kids would say, that was too cringe for him to watch.
Well, I don't know if that's used properly with the young kids.
No, I don't think so. But
that was, I mean, not a fun episode, so to speak, as far as content, because it's a brutal beating that Adonis takes. If you haven't seen this fight in a while, maybe I should have prefaced this whole episode at the beginning. Watch the fight on YouTube or something just to get a feeling of this fight again, or just watch it again after our comments, because you'll see just how brutal this fight really is. There is very little to cheer about. A lot of emotions, a lot of different reactions from Rocky to Bianca to Yvonne. Apparently, Yvonne was so prominent in this match that according to the commentator, he was in the fight himself. he was
Man, I can't believe that happened. I believe it because I've made this mistake in the podcast several times.
Yeah, we've called Victor Yvonne.
But I'm a schmuck, and they don't have a professional going over a podcast to make sure that everything's correct.
I'm the professional going over this podcast. Yeah. After every episode, I edit this crap.
I'm sorry. Honestly, Ryan, as soon as I said that, I'm like, shit, I'm going to get nailed for saying that. I'm sorry. Yeah, like this isn't a Hollywood production.
I'm surprised.
But man, that was a great catch.
I'm surprised. Yeah, you're right, because it goes through editing after editing and reviews. And like, hey, it's someone to say, hey, by the way, he said Yvonne. Oops. That's easy. That's an easy fix. Just
you could dub that in. You could dub Victor.
You could even just take.
You don't have to redo anything.
Name. You just take out the first name. Just say Drago.
Ah, yes. Good point. That probably would be the easiest way to do it.
Just take out, just take out the Yvonne part, and everyone will know. Well, of course, they're talking about Drago Jr. You just said Drago because that's the last name.
This is my apologist slant. I'm going to say, you know what? This movie, we're trying to make it as real life as possible, and that is a mistake anyone can make, even a commentator in regular boxing matches. Commentators make mistakes, so
that's true.
We're just trying.
I'm going to push back on that, Kyle, because I like your line of thinking. However, the subtitles said Victor.
So touche. You win this. You win this round, Katie. You win this round.
Somebody had the script and didn't line it up with the dialogue. Yeah, that's funny. All right, well, that was an awesome episode. We got a lot of ground covered. If you can believe, there's still an hour and 10 minutes, well, including credits. There's about an hour and 5 minutes left of this film. It's crazy. There's a lot to happen here. But it's Fast and Furious. I love Creed 2. I do enjoy it. I know we slag a lot on Adonis a little bit, but I actually do enjoy Creed 2 a lot as a film. I think it's the same watchability that Rocky 4 is, in the sense of, I know it's not a better film than Creed 1. I understand that the first Creed is probably a better film, but Creed 2 goes down easier for me. I don't know what it is. It just feels more like part of the Rocky franchise. So, yeah, it feels like more like a Rocky film in some ways. And because it has the Dragos in it, I love watching the Dragos. That really is a big selling point for me. All right, so Kyle, take us out.
Ding, ding.
So let's go there. Let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there. Let's just can we stay? Can you take me higher to the place